Hey, very blustery. The flooded swamp. Ah, there goes my hat. Oh, come back. All right, hang on to your hats. The wind has picked up considerably the flooded swamp. We see whitecaps. The wild waves dash upon the shore. You know, there's not supposed to be any water there. It's about 8 feet deep in the deepest part out there in the middle. That's how much flooding. Do some work with beehives. We're getting packaged bees in tomorrow. I got to get the hives ready for them. Trying to have some daffodils. Half of them are in the water. Had to get everything safe from the wax moths. So there's menthol tablets, whatever you call them. What are these things? Mothballs. Got mothballs. Wrap these things up. Now I just need to find what I need for a package of bees to be installed. Here's a couple. These are called deeps or brood boxes. But they were pretty messy. The frames that go in them were quite messy last year. So that's not a deep. Is that a deep? Yes, that is a deep. I think we were just using that as a top box for feeding. So I think the deep I want to use is somewhere in here. That one there must be it. I need to get more brood frames tomorrow as well. All right. Just use that for a workbench. All right. So there's a brood box from a hive that did not make it. Let's see what some of these look like. I mean, they don't look diseased necessarily, but this shotgun pattern of cells makes me wonder if the queen was very good. See, there's a bee head down. Interesting. This is the propolis, it's called. It's the bee glue. They close up all the spaces with that. Now I might think this thing growing off the side was a queen cell, but it's not big enough. The newbies will make good use of this wax. They spend a lot of time generating this wax, so when you first start out, your frames don't have the wax on it. The bees build all these cells up. So last year when I got packages and put them in, they just took off and did very well. We don't know why they died, but they all died. Well, we had some very cold weather that they survived. One hive survived, and then, yeah, look at that shotgun pattern. I am told that that's kind of an indication of a queen that's going south. So this hive might have had a queen problem. This hive actually died right after we extracted honey. Some more bees head down in there. But does it look diseased or anything? I'd say no. The other hive made it through the cold weather, but then we had a warm up and then a very heavy wet snow, and bees cannot stand moisture. It kills them quickly. And a lot of other beekeepers lost hives this year at the same time, and so we all think that good chance that heavy wet snow plugged up the entrances to the hives and didn't let enough ventilation through. The bees do a really good job of keeping the hive in the 90-degree range or warmer. And they absolutely must have ventilation. So the theory is heavy wet snow packed up the entrances to the hives, and the bees died from moisture. Another shotgun pattern. You know, I think I had a bad queen in this hive. Like I said, this is the hive that died earlier in the year. Look at all that good wax. They're going to love that. So really, this brood box, I think I'll be ready to just put the new bees right in here. These larger cells, you can tell they look larger. These are probably brood cells or drone cells. Those are the male bees whose only job is to mate with the queen. So they're tolerated. The problem is the varroa mite likes the larger cells, and the varroa mite makes its home in the brood cells, so that can be a bad thing to have too many drone cells. I mean, not brood. I keep saying brood. Nothing about what I'm doing here should imply that I know what I'm doing or that I think I know what I'm doing. I've only been at this for a couple of years. My father-in-law helps me a lot. He's got a lot of years of experience. But being the typical son-in-law, I like to do things my way, which is usually the wrong way and the hard way. But that's how I learn. Yeah, off there. This was a great hive right up until they died. The GoPro has locked up again on me. Take it all apart, pull the battery. I am an electrical engineer, and I design electronic products, and I understand the challenges involved. But to have a product on the market for as long as GoPro's been on the market and not resolve that kind of an issue seems irresponsible to me. But they got to stay in business. This is a brood box from a hive that died earlier in the year. And those frames did not look good to me at all. They were pretty old, so we burned them to get rid of any lingering diseases, and then this has been just left empty. So that will get filled up with some new frames. I have a couple frames here. So that's what they look like when you buy them new. So they have a very light coating of wax on there, and that encourages the bees to draw out new wax on these, as we saw down here. So all these guys, once upon a time, were the same, and then the bees drew out wax and use it for various purposes, either cells for new bees or for putting honey in. So this is 10 frames. I got 2, so I'm gonna have to buy 8 more of these guys. Okay. The packaged bees will just plop right in there. I think I'll be good. I have another hive that is out there, 2 brood boxes out there, 2 deeps, and I'll put the other package in those. Those also have some good wax-filled frames. They'll do well with those. All the rest of these are what we call supers, and a super is where the bees are encouraged to actually put the honeycombs. And that's where those will go when the time comes. Now some of those have a little honey in them. No, those are the broods out there. So, well, that went quicker than I thought. I guess I'm ready. This is ready for packages. Oh man, do I need to go out there and bring those brood boxes up here and mess with them? Oh dear me. I should at least go down and look at them. To the hive. And we're running again. Okay. What have we got? Yeah, see these actually have a little bit of honey on them. So the new hive will love that. Yeah, these are some nice frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 2 more frames here. New ones. Oh, that's completely empty. So I'm going to get 10 frames for that. What's that suspicious looking goop down there? 10 frames for that. 2 plus 8 up there is 10 more, so 20 frames, and everything's looking good out here. I'll be able to put the new package in there, no problem. And then the other hive will go right here next to it, and we'll have 2 more hives ready to go. See how they do next year. Back to the man cave. Feeders, you pour sugar water in here, and then the bees can kind of get down to it. This is supposed to keep them from drowning because they can crawl in and out, but a lot of bees seem to drown when I put these in. But the idea is it goes in the hive, and the bees can then get into it and feed themselves. I'll have to do that. So I'll be putting these in this year since I'm starting new hives. Normally if you have a hive that hasn't died and there's all bees in here and everything, you don't really want this necessarily because it's hard to get to. You don't want to open up the whole hive when there's live bees in it. And then you would normally feed with these kind of jars. Got some holes in the top, and then on something called the inner cover, you just kind of set this up there on some sticks, and the bees can come up and drink water out of there. That's the way they're normally fed. When they aren't dead, got sugar water up here ready to go. So am I ready for my packages of bees? I believe the answer is yes. Now here, what do we got? Oh, wait a minute. These? Oh, for Pete's sake. Forgot about these. Yeah, these are some brood frames or deep frames from last year that they've got good honey on them. That's all honey. And the new bees will like that. Well, what that means is I've got a lot more brood frames than I thought. 2, 4, 5. I thought I would have to buy 20, but there's 5 right there. And here's 5 more. That's a heavy one. Look at that. So that's all honey. That's honey that the new bees will be happy to have. So for heaven's sakes, there's 10 frames full of honey. So that's going to be a good start for this new batch. A very good start indeed. All right. So I don't need 20 new frames. I only need 10. Great. That is great. All right. Well, I'm still convinced that I am ready. We're picking the package bees up tomorrow. We'll check in again there when we put the bees in. That's always fun.